boy, I mean, Kiwanis Kids, this Children's Zoo, it's what it's all about. And most of you have volunteered there, you have volunteered there, you are volunteering there, you're engineering for us, you're raking for us, you're helping in many ways. Matter of fact, I got here, the first one, Chris said, you got a volunteer application? And I went, thanks for reminding me, Chris. Yes, I have a stack of volunteer applications as well. So, really, I am very honored. Thank you very much to my club, Lincoln Center, for joining today. Really very much appreciate that. Sunrise folks, too, again, a big supporter. South Point, glad we got it worked out so that I could speak to you, because I was asked to speak to you today and couldn't do that because Northeast had made the request earlier. So, and Randy's wife is at the zoo right now, either in the hive or butterflies. She's with some bugs of some sort. So, a lot of connectivity, and I really appreciate it, and I'm very honored to be here today. I've got some slides up here. I've got a little video. Kind of want to do it. And who can I convince to be my clicker?
He's done it.
Would you be so kind? You know how to just, I'm assuming you know all about technology because you're young, as opposed to me, I haven't got a clue. So if you could just click me to the next slide, I'll start talking. Because what I wanted to do is take you back a little bit. For those of you who don't know, the zoo incorporated in 1959. Okay, incorporated in 59, but the zoo actually opened in 1965. So if you do some quick math, we're getting pretty close to 2015, okay? Mr. Folsom, maybe some of you may have known Mr. Folsom. He was a scout leader, business leader, insurance salesperson in our community. Many of you maybe knew Mr. Folsom or some of his family. As a matter of fact, to this day, Mr. Folsom's family still enjoys the zoo. His great-great-granddaughters now come to the zoo and enjoy the zoo. So the Folsom tradition has continued down all these many 47 years of being open, so I'm really honored that we still are connected. A couple pictures from the old days. The Cricket House still remains on the zoo grounds. I'm sure a lot of you recognize the Cricket House there. It's been moved, it's in the village. It still serves birthdays, not very big birthdays, but the Cricket House is one of those iconic symbols of the Lincoln Children's Zoo that got built there and remains, as does the train, the Iron Horse. A lot of you know the Iron Horse better than I do because you've engineered it. We had to change trains about 10 or 11 years ago because in the old days you needed air to stop the train. And if the airlines broke or you ran out of air, that means you didn't stop the train. Now you need air to release the brakes, not apply the brakes. So it's a lot safer. We don't have runway trains anymore. But the train actually started running around the zoo in '63. So what does that quick math tell us? What is 50 years old next year? Is the Iron Horse, the Z-O-N-O at the zoo. And so we're working on planning some big celebrations next year to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the iconic train that runs around the zoo. More than half of the kids who come to the zoo ride the train. Here's an original otter exhibit from the old days that's long gone. We've got a much more naturalistic and much more comfortable exhibit for the otters as well. This is the flamingo pool. If you know where the flamingos are now, it looks a lot different. There's husbandry applied now with a new building and all kinds of stuff. I've been told that the day the zoo opened in '65 in July, they put the flamingos in that morning. And what they didn't know about the flamingos was that you got to clip their wings, otherwise they took off. Well, the flamingos took off. And then you old-timers were no better. The streets around the zoo at the time, Capitol Parkway I don't think was in place in '65, was it? Okay. And there were a lot of power lines, and I guess they ran into power lines and broke the wings, and it was a nasty opening first day of the zoo. Okay. The zoo is open, indeed, Memorial Day to Labor Day. But keep in mind, this is a little bit historic information I wanted to give you. When the zoo opened, it only opened Memorial Day through Labor Day. Only animals were there Memorial Day through Labor Day. Okay? The zoo was empty every day else of that. The animals were actually disposed of, so there were no animals after Labor Day at the Lincoln Children's Zoo. Okay? No animals whatsoever. And everything that was just built to house animals during Nebraska's warm summers. Well, in the '70s, USDA came along, Animal Welfare Act came along, Endangered Species Act, XZA accreditation, also animal rights movements. So all of a sudden, the Lincoln Children's Zoo is housing animals on a year-round basis. It'd be like you building a summer cabin, no insulation, open pipes, no heat, no nothing, and trying to live in it year-round in Nebraska. That ain't easy, okay? And so in the 70s, they really started housing animals in very improper conditions because they were forced by all this legislation. So there's been a lot of evolution and a lot of change in the zoos almost 50 years regarding this husbandry, regarding proper taking care of animals. Thank you. So, no heat, no running water. When I got to the zoo in '86, zookeepers literally during the wintertime were carrying buckets of water and pushing buckets of water across the zoo because there are no open pipes to water the animals during the zoo. There were portable heaters. It was terrible. Fire situations were very commonplace, potentially because of bad heaters plugging in and all sorts of things like that. There were no trained zookeepers. Animals were taken care of by summer kids who went back to university or went back to high school. So there was no professional animal care. It was really pretty sad. Thank you. This is 2012. Where are we today and what have we accomplished today? Click if you would, please. Okay, our mission, I love that picture, okay. That happens to be my baby. Okay, that's my youngest son, who I just took to Wayne State last week. He's now 18 and a freshman. So that's a Joe Sartori photograph of my son when they first did butterflies about 12 years ago at the zoo. So I'm kind of partial to that picture. But the zoo, as it was when it opened in '65, is to enrich lives through first-hand interaction with living things. That's what Mr. Folsom envisioned, and his granddaughter, who brings her grandchildren to the zoo, say, we're still doing the mission that Mr. Folsom wanted. We're still connecting kids with nature, and that photograph so explains it well. Okay. The zoo is AZA accredited. What does that mean? Let me tell you that there are 2,600 USDA licensed animal exhibitors in the country. 2,600 licensed by the federal government. Of that 2,600 licensed, only 220 are AZA accredited. AZA accreditation is the highest standards of animal care in the world. Your Lincoln Children's Zoo has achieved accreditation 5 times, and we go up for reaccreditation every 5 years. We just received it a year ago. So your Lincoln Children's Zoo's animal welfare, animal care, animal education program, wildlife care, our conservation programs are among the best in the world. There's only 220 of that 2,600 that are AZA accredited. And our accreditation standards, like I said, are the highest in the world. Beats Europe, Asia, every place else. The zoo has been recognized all over the board, everything from TripAdvisor, Certificate of Excellence. The Chamber of Commerce gave us a Tourism Development Award, Integrity Award from Better Business Bureau, Animal Welfare Award from the Capital Humane Society. We're one of the top 12 visited attractions in the state. Parents Magazine gave us one of the best children's labels as well, best for a place for children. And in '06, I actually went to the White House. In the East Room of the White House, Laura Bush herself presented the Lincoln Children's Zoo with a certificate with recognition. We were the only zoo recognized. There's only been about 4 zoos ever recognized in the White House as its community service, okay? And its service to community. The Lincoln Children's Zoo. Thank you. But we're only able to do that because of community. The Lincoln Children's Zoo stays connected with community. You all are very connected to the Children's Zoo because you are connected with children, you're connected with serving, you volunteer individually, your Kiwanis group volunteers, you may be another service group you're with, you may be a family, you make the zoo happen. The zoo works very hard at providing great entertainment for our community, great environmental education. We will collaborate with over 36 other nonprofits this year. We're able to do that because of the support from folks like you, like Sunrise Kiwanis. Probably won't make it to the golfing on September 8th because they're hosting Excite program at the zoo, where they will host a couple of thousand children who are the LPS Excite program, give them free train rides. I just heard this morning we got an underwriter for 300 pony rides that day too for low-income kids. I got a gift from an individual. And so we work with a lot of nonprofits. We have worked with the zoo crewers. We have about 350 youth volunteer on the zoo campus during the summertime. And this, you know, that $100,000 number is wrong. We gave away more than that this year. We gave away over 20,000 free admissions to low-income children and their families in Lincoln. Lincoln has 44% of the kids who go to Lincoln Public Schools receive free or reduced meals, okay, lunch program. That's a high level of poverty in Lincoln, so there's a lot of families who cannot reach the Lincoln Children's Zoo. So we asked folks in our community to help underwrite those admissions. This year we gave away 20,000, like the Center for People in Need just next door here. Actually, I've given some to Food Bank. You name the nonprofit in town, the Community Action Partnership of Saunders and Lancaster County. And then plus, we gave away 1,000 family memberships this year and scholarships. Those memberships we gave away to schools in the area of the zoo where the families can walk to the zoo and get free admission for their families all year long. So they just show their membership and they walk in. That's very powerful for a family who has no recreational dollars, who has to decide, do I ride the bus today or does my kid eat today? The Lincoln Children's Zoo provides those admissions, and it's because we get support from our community. It's very important support. We work with the Convention and Visitors Bureau to attract visitors to our community. As a matter of fact, I was just appointed July 1st. I am a tourism commissioner now. There's a brand new commission in Nebraska. The governor appointed me. I'm one of 8 members on the Nebraska Tourism Commission. I'll be in Hastings next week working on our strategic plan for tourism for the state of Nebraska. So your Lincoln Children's Zoo does work regionally and locally. But we're also worked hard to save endangered species from extinction. I better hurry up. That is a Rodriguez fruit bat. At one time, one of the rarest bats in the world. We've produced over 70 healthy offspring. The bottom right-hand corner, you see those are twin pygmy marmoset babies born here at the Lincoln Children's Zoo. They're about 4 months old. In the last year, those are the only pygmy marmoset babies born in North America. Okay? It's an uncommon species in zoos. We're trying to work to save them. Nobody else has generated those offspring, like I said, in the last 12 months. In the last 2 years, there's only been 5 births, and 3 of those was in Lincoln because we had another one the year earlier. That's our education director, Amy, up at the salt marshes here north of town, reintroducing Salt Creek tiger beetles. The Lincoln Children's Zoo, in conjunction with Game and Parks, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Henry Doorly Zoo, the University Museum, University here, we're breeding in captivity and reintroducing Salt Creek tiger beetles. It is one of the rarest insects in the entire world, and your Lincoln Children's Zoo is working to save them. They're not even on display at the zoo. They're in a room in chambers. Nobody even sees it, knows it, though. We're working to save that very rare insect. On the right are Manchi's tree kangaroos. There have been 2 tree kangaroo babies born this year in the entire country. 2. One right here in the Lincoln Children's Zoo. There's only 50 in captivity. They're as rare as giant pandas. They're as rare as giant pandas, and we had only 2 babies born. One was born right here in Lincoln this year. Click. Now, can you click on the middle of that and make that play? This is a video that I'm hoping will work. Okay. What you're seeing now, maybe some of you have been to the zoo, is I think it's running. Okay. It just is a long introduction for some reason. This is, when tree kangaroos are, this is in the pouch. They're marsupial animals. This is 6 days. That's the baby right there. The baby's attached to the teat coming down from the top. That is, it's not a fetus. It's already been born, but it's developing in the pouch. Notice how the tail's gotten smaller. It's detached. We're getting more development at 18 days. This is 28 days. See how the tail's getting longer? There, again, you can start identifying it more as an animal. So here's an animal that is extremely rare. Like I said, 2 babies in captivity this year in the whole world, right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. This one is about 2.5 months old now. It was born July the 11th, okay? So this is right here in Lincoln. Now, because of this, but you're going, how the heck do you get this footage? It's because of a rare relationship. I've got a phenomenal zookeeper who works very well with the animals, especially this species. And that tree kangaroo actually will present herself in the zookeeper. It's a pouch. Okay, it's a marsupial. The zookeeper can actually open the pouch and put a fiber optic camera into it. Never done before anywhere in the world, right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. the Lincoln Children's Zoo has rare footage of a rare birth because of a rare relationship between Davy Ann, who's one of our zookeepers, and Mila. She's worked with this animal, the mother animal, for 9.5 years. This mother is very important in the gene pool in the world. She's had 6 healthy babies here in Lincoln. So we're really working hard to save this very endangered species of tree kangaroo from New Guinea. They live 50, 60 feet up in the trees, sleep in mossy hammocks. So right here in Lincoln, Nebraska, we're working very hard to save endangered species. We do a lot of education about the diversity of wildlife. The Humboldt penguins joined us just a couple years ago to the zoo. Very happy to have them. We're one of only 16 zoos in the country to have Humboldt penguins. Again, it's another management animal, an endangered species needing reproduction. So your Lincoln Children's Zoo excels in saving endangered species, researching endangered species, high quality education and recreation for kids, and we're economic development. We bring a lot of people to Lincoln, Nebraska. We have a lot of heads and beds in Lincoln, okay, because of the Lincoln Children's Zoo. What's new this year? Baby marmoset up on the left there, flying squirrels in the right. I think Nancy gets to play with those, doesn't she, Randy? They're in the hive at the zoo. Peccaries are brand new, they're kind of a wild pig. And Tamar wallaby in the bottom right. Some new species of wallaby, very uncommon in zoos that need some breeding activity. Also this year we have a new female bald eagle. If you see the upper left-hand side, the white-headed eagle is an adult eagle. The one to the right is an immature, meaning it's less than 5 or 6 years old because it's not received its full adult plumage. It is a victim of a broken wing. It can now live in the wild. So Raptor Recovery Nebraska presented us with that. Ringtail lemurs in the bottom there. We have 4 beautiful babies that are bouncing all over the exhibit this year. Again, a very rare species from the island of Madagascar needing propagation. Brand new this year is our big iconic zoo sign. You see it very well from Capitol Parkway, and you too can be a part of the zoo. And if you'd like to, I've got little forms here. You can put your name permanently in the zoo, or your grandchild's name in the zoo, or your entire family's name in the zoo. That's another way to support the zoo. Also new this year, this looks a lot different from this photograph. This is the pony riding area at the zoo, the Wrangler's Roundup. That is a rain garden. We are actually taking all of our rainwater and managing it on the zoo grounds. We're not dumping rainwater into the creek anymore. We're letting it, when it does rain, okay, percolates down. We're saving the water. We're trying to have better green practices at the zoo. We are a conservation organization. We're conserving water, and it's really turning out very nice this year. So we're really excited about its improvements. Here's some zoo figures. So 21 of us on a year-round basis at the zoo. That's not a big team. We take care of 100 species, that's individual types of animals, about 350 specimens, that's not counting the big colonies of cockroaches, okay? We have over 6,000 family members. We're on track right now to have over 180,000 visitors this year, which will be the highest ever. We've had just a record year because of our community support, and we're celebrating it. When you come to the zoo, somebody might walk up to you and give you an envelope with a thank you and say, thanks for helping us make it have such great attendance this year. You might get a free train ride, or you might get a free snow cone, something like that. Again, we give away a lot of free admissions and scholarships to low-income kids and families. We have a $1.9 million operating budget. We've done over $11 million for the capital improvements in the last 25 years. But that $1.9 million budget, 70% of that is earned through memberships and admissions. 30% of that, about $500,000, is contributions. Okay, it's cash contributions to the zoo. It's individuals, it's groups, it's corporations, it's foundations. Every year we need about $500,000 just to keep the zoo operating. Okay, so it's a huge support of our community, great support of our community that keeps the zoo running. We get no tax dollars. So your sales tax, your income tax, your property tax does not go to the Lincoln Children's Zoo. Okay, restaurant tax, the 2% arena tax, we don't see any of it. We're 100% supported because of earned revenue and contributions from our community. Okay, we're in the only 4 children's zoos in the entire nation as well. Okay, a lot of challenges are taking care of a living collection on a year-round basis, big physical facility, and improving our entertainment for families. We're working very hard at that. We need your help. A lot of you, you know what, you're already sharing the news. You let me come here today and share the news. please go tell other folks about the Lincoln Children's Zoo, because we're still open through October the 15th this year. Again, promote us in your business, your clubs. You're already supporting the zoo, your memberships, you're already making contributions. Come to the zoo, hold a gathering at the zoo, or volunteer, which you're already doing. So I want to say thank you. I've got some information over here. I'll leave it up here at the front table. If any of you need an individual volunteer application, like I said, Chris took my first one already. So I've got volunteer applications right here.
And I think I forgot to mention, when some of the proceeds we earned from our golf tournament also goes to the Lincoln Children's Zoo. So.
Thank you very much. So that's, again, all the clubs, it's phenomenal. Kiwanis and children and the Lincoln Children's Zoo. We really appreciate that. If you want to buy a hand on the new sign, and I think we got one more picture maybe. Again, 2015 is not far away. We'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary. We'll be involving you with that. I'm certain of that in preparation for our 50th year. And we're right now just begun doing a 2020 Vision Master Plan. Again, to help guide the zoo into the year 2020. So I think that's the last of my pictures. Again, that number is even wrong. We have a lot more endangered animals at the zoo now. And if any of you are travelers and you want to go with me to Africa, I'm going to go to Botswana and Zambia in February, lead a photo safari. On August 30th, we got a person coming in. We're going to do a program at the zoo. So if any of you want to go to Africa with me, it'll be my 4th trip to Africa. It's a lot of fun. You see phenomenal wildlife. And my idea of camping is embassy suites. So we camp very comfortably there. So thank you, but above all, thank you to our community, because our community makes the Lincoln Children's Zoo possible, and you are our community. You are servants of our community and the Lincoln Children's Zoo. I want to say thank you.